Hello and welcome back to the Captain's Quadrant. We are honored to have an amazing guest with us today in section 31 and a half as we have questions. Of course, always joining me on these ventures is Jason Roy Gaston, my co-host from Texas.
Hello.
And
Howdy.
Gaston, we are, oh my God, over the moon because we have General Martok, J.G. Hertzler himself, joining us in the Captain's Quadrant. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, except that I had to interrupt my delicious meal that I had cooked for myself today.
Oh boy!
Oh my God, we are rude scum. We are sorry.
No, you are. Well, you may be sorry. I don't know, but I tell you this: if I had looked at my book, because I do everything on paper, I don't have little buzzers planted around my body saying, "Don't forget this appointment." Don't forget this appointment. You know, I've got a book, and look at the size of my date book. Here.
Oh.
And it has you here, but
wow.
My entire family was here, and
Wow.
there you are, right there.
Look at
top.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. He's got me at first billing and everything. I like this. I like this guy.
Gaston, well, the French. Without the French, we would not be here. I don't care what the German Drumpf says. Without the French, the U.S. would not be here.
That's very true. That is so true. So true. So true.
Not only did they teach us the form of government we should have, democracy, but they taught us how to win the battle.
Yes.
You know, so, and we learned. And I think they're sorry they taught us anything.
We took it, we ran.
Understandable.
We took it and ran.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, did we ever? So one of the things we're going to start off with is when you were in college at Bucknell University, you were a linebacker.
No, not lineman. Ray Bucknell. Ray for the orange and the blue. Ray, everybody, Ray. We're short on words at Bucknell.
I don't know the name.
For the orange and the blue. Boy, that guy looks like he sings like Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Ray Bucknell.
Yeah, so you played a little football and then
I'm an outside linebacker. Don't call me a lineman.
Linebacker.
No, please. Linemen are enormous guys, slow moving. They're very intelligent usually because they don't have to run too much, and they're real close to the guy they got to knock over. But I was a linebacker, and by the way, have you seen? Hey, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hold on.
What have we gotten into? What is happening right now?
I thought I said linebacker, but apparently I didn't.
JG says you said lineman.
All right,
so you said lineman. Even if on the replay you said linebacker, you said lineman.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, seriously, the paper calendar is such a Martok thing to do.
It is.
I'm just gonna say it's like I don't keep my calendar on computers.
Yeah.
A true warrior uses paper written in blood.
It's in blood, and it's there forever and ever.
Yes.
Now, you said linebacker?
Lineman.
You did say lineman, didn't you?
Yeah.
He said lineman.
You silly caniggets. That is my book.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Going on linebacker. If
That's
you
amazing.
had read my book, you would have seen that.
Yeah, linebacker.
Call me a lineman.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe.
I'm going to hit you on the forehead.
Oh, I'll do it next time I see him. I'll do it for you.
Well, I'll make sure to order a copy, and then that way I'll never do it wrong.
No, if you were real, you'd order like 50 copies.
All right, we'll get 25.
Very expensive, but we need the money over here in upstate New York.
You got it. We're committed for it. Yeah. So what made you switch?
You ask me?
Yeah. What made you switch from
everything with
football?
the lineman reference?
Yeah, linebacker.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what made you switch for football for acting?
You want the truth? You want one of my many stories? It's lies.
It's all true, especially the lies, right?
I was we had a great defensive coach,
Mhm.
Bob Patswall. I loved him. He would create books like that for each game that would be the tendencies of the other team given down and yardage or quarter.
Mhm.
And we studied. You had to learn that. It was a playbook that defenses don't usually do that. We were in, we had to change the defense to, anyway. Bob, and he was a wonderful guy. I can't think of any slogans of his, but I can tell you about my high school coach, John Merricks.
Mhm.
There was one of two things he would say. He'd say ball carriers. He hated ball carriers. And he would say to my friend Mike Tubman, who was my best friend. He was a quarterback, a brilliant athlete. He would say to them, Tubner, there's one of two reasons why you dropped that ball. Carelessness or lack of courage. Which was it?
Oh,
You know,
wow. Tough.
Merricks was a fabulous coach, though.
Mm.
Fabulous. But which was it? And Patswell was a fabulous coach, defensive coach, but we had an idiot for an offensive, and he was the head coach of the team at Bucknell.
Mm.
I mean, I couldn't stand it. I was supposed to, when I signed up to go there, a great coach, Bob Odell, who ended up at University of Pennsylvania for 30 years, he was at Bucknell.
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to go, because he was a brilliant coach. Before I got there, he transferred to University of Pennsylvania, made him a better offer.
Oh.
And so he was coaching there forever. Anyway, this guy shall remain nameless, mainly because I can't remember his name. But very forgettable guy. But I loved playing defense.
Mm.
And Martok would have been a defensive linebacker, I believe. Martok,
Yeah.
that's
For sure.
it's so like him. I had no noticeable athletic skill. I just loved to hit people with my forehead that was running opposite directly at me.
Oh.
That was fun.
Mm.
It's left me with considerable brain damage, so I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
But it's been slow. But it's I'm feeling it now. Anyway. And my neck also, I was going to get a shot in my neck.
Oh.
Because a steroid shot in my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gets really a pain in the neck. I mean, it really hurts on occasion. And I am certain that is the result of hitting people as hard as I could in their chest with my forehead, running the opposite direction. Because every bump, must have registered. Anyway. And what was your question, sir?
Yeah. So what made you switch to? I mean, it sounds like all the injuries is what caused you to switch to acting.
Yeah.
What made you change the direction?
As it always is in women.
I'm just here thinking Martok would have been a great football coach.
Yeah, me too.
You dropped that ball for one of two reasons.
It's exactly. Now that would be if we had a chance to play football instead of baseball on DS9, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I actually made a football helmet for a guy when I lived in LA. He asked me if I could take a regular football helmet and paint it up as a Klingon football helmet.
Oh.
And I literally painted Klingons. It looked like the Cougars.
Neat.
It looked fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I wish I had it today.
Yeah.
But he paid me a handsome $25.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But I was happy. And that would be something to suit up football teams. Even if you're playing, no, you don't want to play tag. It would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's, I can barely walk from here to there, let alone chase down somebody and hit him as hard as I can with my forehead.
Yeah. And full Klingon makeup, no less.
Yeah, well, that would be hot. Yes.
Yeah.
Klingon makeup was
Klingons
totally-
wouldn't play with helmets, though. They'd take
No, they don't
helmets
need 'em.
off. This is for weaklings.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened to the foreheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, they were playing football too much.
Yeah.
All right, Chase.
Did you ever get an answer to your question?
Yeah, yeah.
What was it? What was the damn
It's fine. It's fine.
no. What was the damn question?
It was what made you go into acting?
Oh, I was a senior at Bucknell,
Mhm.
and I had had it with the coach. I said, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Oh.
That was the senior year, and my defensive coach said, "No, John," and this is true. It's self-promotion, but it's true. My defensive coach said, "John, you should stick around because I think you're going to be a little All-American." And I said, "I can't stand it, man. I can't stand the guy." He said, "Okay," but it paid for my education. Playing
Oh.
football. It's based on financial need up in the Patriot League and in up, not the Ivy League, but it's junior,
Mhm.
like Ivy League. But I got my education paid for because of football, and I'm very thankful for that. But I was hanging out after deciding not to play. I was hanging out, leaning against the building that housed the theater, the big theater for
Mhm.
Bucknell. And Janet Cunningham walked by, and this sounds like a Happy Days. It sounds like a Happy Days commercial, but it wasn't. Her name was really Janet Cunningham, and still is. She said, "Hi, John. How you doing?" I said, "Good." So what are you doing? I said, "Nothing." "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm going into audition for Murat Saad." It was a play called Murat Saad. And I said, "Oh, do you think you're going to be in it?" She said, I think so. And she said, "Why don't you come and audition?" Because they didn't have anybody really like me. I was about 6'2" then, weighed about 220, but I was built like a brick shit house at that point from lifting, from years of lifting. And anyway, I said, "Are you going to be in it?" She said, "Yeah, I think so." I said, "Okay, I'll audition." So I did, and I got cast, and she didn't.
Oh.
And actually, here I have a picture of me on this. I can show you what I look like. Anyway, that's how I got started with theater.
There you go.
After I let football go bye-bye.
Yeah.
But to me, football was the same as theater. It's just a little more painful. This is
Wow.
on that first show.
Wow.
It looks like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Getting ready for breakfast.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh man, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
So, according to my research here, your father was an airman, right?
Was what?
An airman?
He's in the Air Force?
Yeah, you never call them airmen. I don't know if you call them seamen or
It depends on who I'm talking about.
or an army veteran is not an army man, not a landman. The airman is actually a rank in the Air Force.
Oh.
Airman first class, airman second class. It's a rank, and it's where you start.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my dad was. He didn't go to college. He enlisted in 1940 when everybody in the same small town of Pennsylvania. They were telling all the young guys that you better enlist because there's going to be a war with Japan, and so he enlisted, and he spent 30 years in the Air Force. It was the Army Air Corps then, in 1940. But just for your info, airman is where you start.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, but appreciate the correction. Thank you. So you and your family moved around a lot whenever you were younger, I'm assuming.
I went to 5 different elementary schools
Oof.
in the first 3 years.
Oh my God.
I started out in where was I? I was born in Savannah, Georgia, but didn't stay there about 6 months. Then we moved to Nebraska, I think, and then we moved to Missouri. Station, you were restationed, and then stationed to Biggs Air Force Base in El Paso, and that was by 3rd grade. I think then we were transferred. My dad was transferred to Morocco, so then I had 4th and 5th and 6th grade maybe in Morocco. No, 6th grade I was back here in Washington, D.C. area. Andrews, Joint Base Andrews, they call it now, is Andrews Air Force Base. But we moved around a lot, and it was perfect training for the theater because I never stopped moving. Once I started working, getting jobs, it didn't matter if it was in Minnesota, San Francisco, Alabama, Texas, Missouri. Anyway.
That's actually going to lead up to my main question: is how do you think that all that moving around impacted your acting choices later on in life?
I made choices.
I'm sure you've made a couple. You chose to come on this podcast for some reason.
Well, but I was late. Let me see. The best choice I ever made was auditioning for DS9.
Oh.
Because in that audition, I had basically had it with Hollywood. I just did Zorro, shot in Spain. I thought I was hot shit. I was a lead. I was a regular on Zorro.
Yeah.
And I said, and I waited, and I was a little bit, and then first of all, I had an audition for something else first in Paramount, and I stunk up the place. So I was pissed at myself and sitting under a walkway up to one of the second floors on one of the buildings, old studio buildings. And the casting person, Ron Surma, walked by where I was. He said, "Hi, John." Oh, yeah, hi, Ron. Fine. And he said, "Oh, you know what?" He stopped and came back and said, "You know what? You might be right for this particular show, for this particular part of DS9. Here, take a look at the sides. Hand me the words and the script. And when you're ready, come on up to the writer's room upstairs." I said, "What's it for?" He said, "It's for a Klingon general." I said, "Oh, great." It's a huge amount of makeup and just a bunch of
Yeah.
Fine, thank you. So I got it. I went up and I said, "Well, fuck them. I'm not gonna do what they expect. I'm gonna make this the only subtle, brilliant, almost genius Klingon they've ever heard." So I went in and I read the words like this, no, or please understand, this. And they said, after I finished, and they said, "Thank you. John, do you know what a Klingon is?" Well, that was like lighting the fuse to a stick of dynamite.
Uh-oh.
I said, "Oh, right. Let me guess. You want me to be vitriolic, angry, threatening, brutal, guttural, almost nowhere near a human. You want me to be a monster? And they said, yes. And I said, fine. And I took the chair. It was a folding chair that was, you always have a chair to work with when you're auditioning. And it was an old-fashioned folding chair that had rubber bumpers like on the feet of it, like this. But if those fall off, and they all were gone, you have an incredibly sharp angle on the front feet.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up the chair with my right hand. That was my good shoulder. And I threw it across the room, and it stuck into a wall.
Oh, wow.
It stuck because those old walls in the studio there weren't drywall. They were plaster and lathe from the 20s and 30s they were built.
Yeah.
So it's pieces of wood that are in there underneath the plaster.
Right.
That's the strength. And it stuck right in between two of those pieces of wood. And it just stood there. And I got the job.
Yeah, I think so.
My thumb was partially ripped off, my thumbnail, and I was bleeding from then on for the rest of the reading. And I would gesture madly as Klingons would do. Droplets of blood went up, sideways, ever. And they were sitting out there. And I finished. And I was still pissed. I said, thank you. It was almost like I said, fuck you.
Yeah. and then they were like, you're the man.
And they cast me. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
It's so funny. Hearing that story, it's so funny because I actually think Martok, for a Klingon, is soft-spoken and is, I would almost say for a Klingon, gentle and intelligent and everything that you said you wanted the character to be. So you basically made Martok what you wanted.
But did you ever see Martok when he lost his temper?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, that was me. That was my dad. My dad had a heck of a temper. A short fuse, but feared nothing. He feared nothing. And there's a lot of my dad in Martok. Not me, because I'm not that brave, but certainly Martok was. My dad was a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You also got to play a changeling in Chrysalis towards the end of the series in Deep Space Nine. Yeah, Laws. Yes, one of my favorite episodes. Was the makeup process less, and do you have a theory as to what happened to Laws? Because there was that whole virus thing that the Federation planted into. We're getting geeky here, but
what year was that? What season was that?
That was season 7.
Well, it didn't matter what I thought. Season 7 was always it,
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really think about Laws in the future.
Mm.
One of the first scenes he had, he was Renee, who was also a shapeshifter, Odo.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Odo escorts Laws into Quarks, where the entire cast was there, the entire officers of the aboard the ship and whatnot.
Right.
And they, he introduced me to all the officers and whatnot, and I said something massively offensive, but different to everyone. I offended everybody. Laws offended everybody in that bar. And we were, and once there was no apparent reason. It was just the way Laws was. Well, except for one thing I'll tell you about. But Renee Odo started to try to get me to, okay, well, nice meeting everybody and blah, blah, blah. Would try to get me out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were walking out, I said to Renee, I said, well, I think that went very well, don't you? literally offended. If you can go look at that scene sometime.
Yeah, no.
Laws meeting the crew.
Yeah.
It's been very funny. Anyway. Oh, I said, well, I can't use Martok's voice. You know,
No.
I can't speak like people. I don't want them to think it's Martok in a Law's costume.
Right.
What's it called?
The shapeshifter.
Martok. Yeah, Martok doing not anime. I can't think of the word. Cosplay.
Yeah.
Martok doing cosplay. So I said, I've got to use a different voice. So I brought it up about 3 registers, and everything was in this pitch range. And there were a lot of Shatner-esque pauses.
Yeah. Very true.
But people still recognize it. They say, oh, that's Martok. But anyway, I forget what I was going to explain, but it's gone.
It's great. No, you're good. So what do you think happened to the character?
Laws?
Yeah. Because at the end, he shapeshifts out as like a ship and flies out into space.
Yeah. I don't think he was destined to live a long and comfortable life.
Yeah.
Offensive guy, no matter how many shapes he could shift into.
Yeah.
I had a great deal of fun. I really liked playing the Herodian, Hager.
Oh yeah, Voyager.
Yeah.
Because I had to teach Seven how to fight, and you know, with jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of body contact, and that was pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
Rehearsing.
I'm sure.
7 of 9. Thank you very much.
Oh man, Star Trek is a gift.
That was a gift. That was a gift. Unfortunately, it did not keep giving.
No,
it was a gift. And 7 is what's a wonderful person. Very German.
Mm-hmm.
Very German. Her dad, Harry, was I think spoke with a German accent. I believe he was a sheriff or something in a major city or town in Germany before he emigrated to the U.S. with his family. But great guy. Yeah, I really liked it, and I love Jerry. Jerry is just a fabulous actor. I'm glad she's working with that. She's in the new show. One of the 3 new ones. It's not Picard, is it?
No, she was in Picard. Yeah,
Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came back for Picard. Jason.
Okay. So you got your start in Star Trek, I believe, in an interactive Star Trek game with Robert O'Reilly, I believe.
Yeah.
And of course, you've made your biggest mark in Star Trek playing Martok.
Yeah.
What is it about playing Klingons that you find the most appealing as an actor?
They get to behave at the extremes of human behavior.
Ooh.
And it's like a free pass. Okay, Klingon, here's your free pass to be a complete and utter maniac, and get paid for it.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I don't think there's anything subtle about me. There's nothing. The only subtle thing is that I can paint and sketch. That's subtle. I'm good at capturing the physical essence of whatever I'm looking at. I don't know about capturing the spiritual essence of what I'm looking at. But in terms of truthfully recreating what I see, I'm pretty good at that and pretty capable. But it's a little like, I think what bothers me about that is they say Hitler was an excellent architectural design, but it was dead. It was just
Mhm.
dead what he did. And I said, "Oh, that's a paint like Hitler. Oh, that's should I put that on my resume? I don't think so."
No.
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 What did you ask me?
Oh, I just said, what was it about Klingons that you found appealing as an actor?
And you answered beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. The extremes of human the
Human
extremes.
behavior. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And it was like it was like you could go on your own. What's it called with the? What the hell's the word in Disneyland when you get to go on everything? You get a what pass?
A hall pass.
No, not
A free pass. A free pass.
No, not a free pass. It's called something. It's a ticket, like a golden ticket, but it's what's the word? We know that. Have you ever been to Disneyland or World?
Oh,
backstage pass?
No. It's the one that it lets you go on the rides for
VIP
like
pass.
everybody. Yeah.
A what?
A VIP pass?
No.
No.
They've changed it recently, so I don't remember what it used to be called.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not the only brain damaged.
By far, no.
It's a fast pass. I remember that.
No, not a fast pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's called fast plan. Plan ahead. If you go,
somebody will call up.
Mm.
If anybody's on the phone, those are not phone earphones, are they?
No.
Okay.
They're specifically for the.
Maybe somebody will call me and say, "It's this kind of pass, John, you nitwit."
You can tell we don't go too often because I only know the fast pass one.
Yeah,
they might have changed it.
I think it was Genie last time I went, and I think they've changed it since then.
I loved the rides. I cannot, even in airports, I cannot stand
the long
lines that
yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
You're here and you're going right there, but you have to go around 4 planets before you get there.
Oh.
It drives me nuts. It's like Martok doesn't have the patience for that.
No, for sure.
That's why I wish they were still doing short treks. They could do Martok Goes to Disneyland. What is this, a shooting gallery? This is a small world, sir. It should be a shooting gallery.
That's a great idea. Did you see Outlander?
Yeah, I saw.
And did you see Men in Kilts? It was a thing that who was the lead? Who was the Outlander? What was his name?
Oh, it's Sam.
Sam. Yeah, it was close.
Sam something. Sam. I can't remember his last name.
He went with Mackenzie. He was bald. The older madman Scots. It was Mackenzie, wasn't it?
Dougal?
Oh no, huh?
Dougal.
Yeah. Yes. Dougal. He and Dougal did a series of touring Scotland, and doing everything deeply Scottish. Hurling things, rolling rocks down, rolling rocks up hills, sliding down on cheese boards, everything you can imagine that's Scottish. They toured Scotland and they called it Men in Kilts. It was just those two and a camera and a camera person. Bob and I thought Bob O'Reilly, Gowron, do everything together almost everything in terms of conventions. For 25 years, we've been doing it together.
Wow.
And I said, we ought to get a 59 pink Cadillac convertible and just get somebody to drive us. Maybe a Ferengi, maybe
Armin or somebody.
Armin, maybe, but Armin is much too classy. I need to get, who's the guy? He lives in Germany now. I can't think of it. Anyway, not that he's not classy, but he's not. Armin is like the king of Ferengi. No matter who else thinks they are.
Yeah.
Armin's the best.
Yeah.
But had that driver take us around to the various spots in Los Angeles where we were either effed by agents or effed or did horrendous things accidentally or horrendous things on purpose. Our favorite bars where we should either were kicked out of or, or found the loves of our lives or, whatever. The best, most important sites in Hollywood to Galron and so it'd be men with bat lifts.
Men with bat lifts. I love it. I would pay to see that. That should be a Paramount.
If Armin is not available, I'll put on some ears and I'll drive you around just to see this happen.
Thank you. And a butt head and a big butt head.
Yeah,
well, I got one of those already, so nice. I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah. So I remember when I was a big fan. Still, I'm a big fan of Highlander, and you did an episode called "See No Evil." You played a serial killer, and you mentored a fellow immortal. And you were just mentioning earlier you played the really badass bad guy, Alicante de Soto. Did you?
Yes. Oh God.
In Zorro.
Alcalde Ignacio de Soto.
Yes. Absolutely.
In Spain, you forget. Don't forget. In Spain, the th sound replaces the s's.
Oh, so that's right.
Ignacio de Soto.
Ignacio.
Soft C's. But it was from Seville. And Zorro took me we shot in Spain.
Yeah.
And that was the first immensely lucky day audition that I had. Got cast as this Mendoza. That was basically my audition.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Victor, all those guys have passed away. Jimmy Victor's gone. Patrice, the most beautiful girl in the world, is gone. Henry Darrow, one of the great actors of the American theater, is gone. And it's Duncan Regehr and myself and Juan Boto, the actor who played Juan Boto, who was actually Spanish. I can't remember whether he was Argentinian or Spanish. But anyway, he was just a young guy, and he's still young. But I had a wonderful time. I mean, I was flying first class on KLM, and they stop over in Amsterdam because KLM is based in Amsterdam. Stop in Amsterdam. You want to stay a couple of days and just sightsee? I said, "Oh yeah," and got to do that, and it just felt like $1 million. And got to meet worked with a lot of people. I worked with, who came into the show one time for one of the episodes. I can't remember his name. Who is the current James Bond, or who was the last big James?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig came.
Wow.
To do a bad guy. He had a ponytail down to his waist, platinum hair, beautiful. He was a handsome guy, young guy. He's like 22, maybe 21. Wow. And I didn't have a sword fight with him because I gave my light work to somebody else. And I wish I had, because I could have said, I had a sword fight with James Bond.
Yeah.
But, all I did was really throw him out of town because I just didn't like his kind. But, let me see. Henry Darrow, of course, all the time. Jimmy Victor. Who played who on WKRP? Who played Venus Flytrap or Venus?
I can see his face. I just don't know his name.
Jesus, I can't believe it. I don't know his name either. But I got to work with some. There was some lovely
Tim Reed.
Tim Reed. Absolutely, he was wonderful.
Mm.
Played a shyster pitchman visiting the little town of Los Angeles in 1832. Anyway, that was they actually built a small version of Los Angeles. It was, I mean, by not miniatures, but it's just 3 or 4 streets, you know, and haciendas and whatnot. And if I didn't have a scene, what was fabulous about that, this was one of the great perks of show business. What was fabulous, if I didn't have a scene, I worked in the morning, didn't have a scene for a long time. Would say to Ray Austin, who was the director producer, brilliant man. I said, Ray, can I just take my horse out for a ride? And he said, sure. And he just head out into the wilderness.
Wow.
With on horseback, with Amapola, Poppy. Amapola, I think it's Poppy in Spanish. But it was a great gift. Another great gift.
Yeah. So for both Highlander and Zorro, was there a lot of sword fight training? Was there?
Well, because I did a lot of Shakespeare. I started out doing Shakespeare. As soon as I got out, I worked for the federal government for about a little less than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a different story. I won't bore you with it, but it's in the book, Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker.
Definitely. We're going to have a link to it below. Make sure you buy a copy. We're buying at least 2. So
Amazon, 200 it was.
200. It keeps going up.
But yeah. What was the question?
Sword fighting.
Sword fighting.
Training.
I don't have it here. I did a lot of mostly Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, left the government, went to acting. I did one small American play, and then I started Shakespeare after Shakespeare after Shakespeare. Because I worked in Washington, D.C., and the Folger Shakespeare Theater is there, and that's where I got hired for several seasons. So, and very often there was a sword fight involved. So I had been doing sword fighting with broadswords or epées or rapiers, sabers all the time, and I was very used to wielding swords. So when it came up for a role that I could actually do, and it was great. I mean, it's a lot easier to do it on film because there are cuts, you know. I mean, camera cuts. There are cuts otherwise as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, so I was pretty skilled in sword fighting. I loved it. And in fact, that's another thing that I loved. That Klingons were fighters. I loved the physical aspect. That was the throwback to the linebacker.
Yeah.
I love the physicality of my roles.
Yeah.
So, I think as a Star Trek fan, one of the best treats that we've had in a long time is your unexpected cameo in Star Trek Lower Decks, where Martok returns. I would just like to know what was the process of getting you to return as Martok, and do you think that we have seen the last of him, or do you think that we're going to see more Martok in the future?
Well, I think if Martok appears again anywhere, he might appear in Las Vegas this year. But if he appears in anywhere on screen, it'll be animated. Because I ain't the same guy I was 25 years ago. 1999 was the last shooting year of DS9. And that's 26 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So what was I going to say? Something about Martok. Oh, I loved doing that role of Martok on Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Because mainly because I had this line. It was a Boimler. I don't know which character it was, but one of the regulars said or came to Martok. It's like a game show.
Right. It was
I had to disqualify him
mm-hmm.
because there was something dishonorable about it. I can't remember what it was exactly that he did, but he said, "No, that wasn't a dishonorable death. No, not at all." I said, "Yes, it was." He said, "Why? Why would you say that?" I said, "Because the bartender ripped your arm off, beat you to death with it, and consequently, it was suicide, death by your own hand, which is not honorable."
Yes, brilliant.
I love that writing.
Yes. Another thing about Martok, there were so many aspects of his backstory that we kind of wish could have gotten fleshed out. Is there anything that you would have loved more screen time to dig out? Like if they did Star Trek Martok, what would be a story that you'd love to bring?
The only thing I would have loved to do would be an origin type thing about. It's always interested me with the Ancient Aliens, that kind of show. Always, and why couldn't they have been Klingons? And I had this idea for a comic book series of the cover basically was a Klingon ship sitting in like 1960s Nevada with something like that, where it becomes oddly. Oh no! That wasn't present day. It was in the foreground were Native Americans, and this is the image that came to me. The image there, one of them's pointing at the distance, and in the distance is a Klingon ship, bird of prey, with its wings up, sitting in the desert, and that's the start.
Oh, that'll be a great backstory.
Oh, I would have loved to. Yeah. Because there's, I've always wondered about time, not time travel, but wormholes. Wormholes. I wrote a script, I think, that involved somebody's trying to get away through a wormhole and somebody else is following, and the person that's running, or the ship that's running, doesn't stay in the wormhole, but makes a hard left. It disappears at this strange anomalitic time. Nobody knows where they are. I love that idea of exiting a wormhole, not from one of its beginnings and ends, but
somewhere in the middle, and you don't know where you end up. Yeah, that'd be cool. Jason,
do you have a favorite role outside of Star Trek that you wish that people would ask you about more often?
Favorite role on television, or
just any role?
Martok is a great role because I got to work on it for 4 years, and then more years after that. I guess I'd have to say one of two roles in Shakespeare. One is Petruchio in Taming of the Shrew, and the other is Shylock in Merchant of Venice. I loved both those roles. I completely, even though they seem to be indefensible, I loved finding defenses of this is why he's doing this. This is why he is what he is, and it makes sense. And those roles allowed me to put my own stamp on who that person was. I love that aspect of it.
Beautiful. Many fans know you for your as a character actor, and you often play like authoritative or very powerful figures. Is there a part of you that wants to play the opposite side, a more softer and kinder figure? Like, because Lazo's a little crazy and still kind of like powerful, for
No,
sure. So
not at all.
Not at all. You want to be, yeah, that's all right. We should have known Martok wouldn't have taken no regular Starfleet uniform.
No, you mean the pajamas? No. Nothing is like a Klingon uniform. For an actor, it's like grand opera. Oh. You put these things on and you say, wow, look at me. Yeah. I did the same thing playing football, though. I got to say, the last thing before you got to the game was leaving the locker room. You're leaving the locker room. There's a big mirror at the end. Mm-hmm. And I just would look at myself, make sure my hip pads were just so, the socks were at the exact right height and everything. And the last thing you do is I looking good. It's not whether you are really good, but you feel like you're. What did Ricardo Montalban is more important to feel good rather than to actually be good.
Yeah.
Now, first time I ever saw you was at Trek Long Island a couple of years ago, because you were singing with Klingon Pop Warrior, and should say
Trek Long Island.
Trek Long Island about 2 years ago. You were singing with Klingon Pop Culture Warrior, and you were fabulous, I might add.
Singing with what?
With Klingon Pop Warrior, a woman that sings a lot of famous pop songs, and she translates them into Klingon.
Oh, I wasn't singing with her.
Oh.
Was I?
Yeah, you were.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a video that we saw.
Yep. We have video evidence.
Yeah, you were singing the Klingon battle anthem.
Oh, well, yes. There are precious few Klingon songs that I know from beginning to end. So, and that's one.
Yeah.
You mean that one?
Yes.
Yes.
Hip hop number. Everybody asking us, what is the matter? The ratings, the action. Even the babies are getting flattered. It's the Klingons, baby. The Klingons. Ain't no Klingons, baby. We're the Klingons.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we need to get him and Bruce Horak on stage together now.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I would.
Oh, he's the Strange New World Klingon. He has like the gold Klingon.
They made such a mistake taking the hair away from the Klingons on Brave New World.
They fixed it. They fixed it. The Klingons have their hair back now.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Yes, they have their hair back now. They fixed it.
Gold suits. They have gold suits now, just like yours.
That was a huge mistake.
Oh yeah,
it was definitely a choice. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a good choice, but it was a choice.
Yeah. So my question is, how has your relationship with fans changed or deepened over the years that you have been attending conventions?
Well, it hasn't changed a great deal, but it is always amazing when I remember Henry Fonda saying this. I don't know if it was Henry Fonda or Jimmy Stewart. Was sort of in the same category for me. One of the great, great, great golden age of Hollywood. I'll say it was Jimmy Stewart who said this, but somebody asked me saying, if you, how would you define, describe yourself as a human being? He said, I mean, maybe as an actor. He said, I'm sorry you've never seen any of my work, but I guess the only way is I'm an actor. I'm just an actor, and the humility in the man. I think. I've been extremely lucky. There must be 400 million actors or people that aspire to being on stage or and working, doing. My aim was to play 1,000 parts, 1,000 beings in a lifetime, and in the lifetime of one. And I've been very lucky. I've done that. I've had a chance to play and never grow up.
That's amazing.
You know, I've had a chance. I've been given a chance, and I'm very thankful and very I acknowledge the fact that just how lucky I have been. Yeah. My dad was in the military. My mother was a high school teacher. The first play I saw was one I was in Oklahoma in dinner theater.
Oh wow!
I have no background in these arts until I went through graduate school, and I got an MA in set design because I do draw, and I've just been extremely lucky. I don't know how to say it, but and I don't even remember what the question was, but I know it threw me in this direction. So must have had something vaguely to do with what I'm talking about.
I think you answered the question beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah. There's a little extra something in your pants love this week, Jay.
Jason's getting all the accolades. Yeah. Woohoo! So tell folks where they can a little bit about your book. You
can get it on Amazon. It's on Amazon Books, but
give us
or you can go to Bold Venture Press. Bold Venture Press.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Bold Venture Press. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Is that your logo? Did you make that?
Not mine. No. People that asked me to write this thing, and I said, do you want to? I said, yeah, I'd love to, because it was also during the last year or a couple of years of the pandemic, and I just started writing and getting it done. It was something, there's not much we could do. Theater closed, studios were shut down.
Yeah.
It was for actors. We had to find something else.
Yeah.
So where they can get it at Bold Venture Press, look it up. I mean, write that in on your.
We're going to have that in the podcast notes, as well as your current podcast that you're doing.
What's that?
As well as your current podcast, that'll be in the show notes as well. The Mysterious Chirp.
That's not mine.
But you're in it.
I'm in it. Yeah. Mysterious Chirp. A friend of mine who's a wonderful actor, Holly Adams, put it together, and we've worked together several in Christmas Carol, live on stage here in Ithaca, and anyway, we've done a lot of things. Husband's Tom is a fabulous photographer as well.
Oh.
Anyway, that was a great deal of fun. They said your part is something Bartok.
Yeah, Bartok. Yeah.
Bartok. And I said, Bartok, Bartok. She said, yeah. I said, the only Bartok I know of is Bela Bartok, the composer. Can I do it like a Eastern European? Barely intelligible in English, but very convincing. And they said, yeah, of course. So I had a great deal of fun.
Nice.
Bartok.
Do you have any other works of science fiction that you're coming out with?
No.
Yeah. Any more books in the works?
No, I want to do. The main book I want to write is The Good Fight. I want to do. It's about all the great fight choreographers that I've worked with in all the various shows.
Oh, that would be incredible.
One of them, of course, was Bob Anderson, the king of fight choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Anderson was a coach for the British fencing team back probably in the 30s. He was also the guy who trained Errol Flynn and set his choreography and doubled him in Captain Blood. Was it? Is Errol? I get these mixed up all the time.
It's okay.
Which the old? But I know it was Errol Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
It was Errol Flynn's choreographer. So I got to work with him because he did. You mentioned it earlier.
Highlander?
Huh?
Highlander?
Highlander. Yes, it
Yes.
was because that's where the opera.
Yeah, the Opera House. Yeah.
Yes, he was the fight choreographer for Highlander, and he was 75 when he was working with me to learn the fights.
Yeah.
I was 45. He was inexhaustible. I was falling apart after the day, you know, because I was exhausted and my shoulders were killing me. But he was like,
Wow.
you know, he was incredible. And what a guy, you know, Bob Anderson. And I've worked with so many. I mean, I said, I should write a book about all these guys because I don't know who, besides myself, has been in more film, television, and theater fights working with these guys in the business. I've worked with like about 25 or 30 of them. And they're amazing athletes, amazing dancers, amazing choreographers, amazing people.
Yeah, that would be a great book. I hope you get to pen and paper on that. That sounds amazing. I'd love to learn.
That's what it would be, pen and paper. It's not going to be this.
No text. It's pen and paper.
No, it's going to be pen and paper.
Yeah, Jason, go ahead.
The honorable medium.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, if you could go back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you tell him?
Oh man, that's a great question. I hate it when people say that. What a good question. That is a great question because what would I tell myself? I think I was oblivious to so much through my entire young life. I think I would have spent more time talking to my father about his life and dreams. And the same thing's true of my mother, although she died in 2000. Oh. My dad died in 1967.
Wow.
Is that right? 1968. 68 is when I graduated from high school. No, it was 19. I'm sorry, I got the numbers backward. 1976.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were just in the middle of doing I put a show together at the Foundry in Washington, D.C. on the C&O Canal that was a celebration of the bicentennial.
Oh.
And I loved what I was doing, and I had a great time doing it. But my father, he was sick for maybe 10, 15 years before he died. So I didn't really have the time. No, I didn't take the time to sit with my dad and ask him about life and his life. I talk a little bit about this in my book. My mother and father were both from the same tiny town in Pennsylvania. They were husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend since they were like 6th grade.
Wow.
And And we moved all over the world together, my 2 older sisters and myself and parents, all over the world together, so that everything imaginable changed on a yearly or 2-year basis. The only thing that remained stable was that family. And I would have loved to have talked to my dad about his aspirations and whatnot. And the same thing's true of my mother, because her father was an extraordinary man, and it might have helped me understand who I am and why I am the way I am.
Wow.
I don't know. I would have loved to have known them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for hanging out with us in the Captain's Quadrant. Hopefully in person in the future, so it won't be so technologically annoying for you.
Oh yeah, this is just really. I'm going to rip this screen off and throw it away when we're done, because I don't even want to be associated with this screen.
Please curse my name while you're doing it. Please.
Damn you, Jason.
There we go. Oh, you made it live, Jason. JG, thank you once again. We really appreciate it. This has been amazing. It was such we feel lucky and honored to learn about you on a deeper level. And we thank you so much for sharing your
it's my honor, brothers. It's my honor. I'm one of the luckiest, as I know. Jimmy Stewart said this, one of the luckiest men in the world, it's a wonderful life.
Yes. Yes.
So there you go.
We're lucky because you gave us Martok, and he's amazing.
Absolutely.
The writers, directors, and myself.
And actors, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Be sure to check out all the show links below. You can get a copy of JG's book. We're going to be pumping, what, about 400 now that we got to?
Yeah. Buy a book, everybody. He's expecting us like 500 books to be sold now. Buy a book.
Get those books going.
It's fresh off the press a year and a half ago. So, I skip the 400. Just go for a couple of gross.
Okay. Gross now.
It's a great word for Martok.
There you go.
Gross.
Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch soon. Take care, everybody.
Hasta luego, mi amigos.
Hasta luego.